for tuning in. Have you guys seen Dune? Now, I swear that I've seen Dune way before now. Like, I swear I saw it. It could have been something that's just been, rolling around my Netflix or whatever streaming channel I'm looking at the time. And I'm thinking I saw Dune, but I didn't. But I swear I saw Dune. And how did Dune get on my radar? Well, I want to say that Dune, Dune 2 is coming out, right? Dune 2 is coming out. And that's how it got on my radar. I saw Zendaya in there, and I was like, oh, I didn't know she was in that movie. Now, she's not my favorite actress in the sense that, okay, so it's just basically I haven't seen a lot of movies with her in it. I did see her in the Disney shows when she was younger, which Disney shows go like all Disney shows go, so I don't really have thoughts on that. But I just want like, well, she's in there, let me basically see what it's about, right? And so I watched it. My just initial, before I really get into nitty gritty, it could have been better, it was kind of confusing. I felt like throughout the movie I was questioning basically what did the family did to warrant such behavior. And so that was a question I had. I was left with basically throughout the movie and at the end of the movie. So let me just go over the cast really quick. So Paul Atreides is the son of the Duke Leto or Leto Atreides. Chian is one of the Sand people, the Fairmen, okay, and Chani, that is Zendaya's character. Lady Jessica is the mother to Paul. That's Rebecca. Paul is Timothy, and then Duke Leto is Oscar, and then Jason Momoa, he is Duncan, and then Stalin, I can't pronounce his last name, he is the Baron. And skip around a few people. I have Dave, who is Glosov, and then there's Josh, who is Gurney. Now, and then one more, Sharon Duncan. She is Letkinas. Okay, now, oh yeah, sorry, one more. Charlotte. She's the creepy old lady. She is called Goss Helen. All right, so those are basically the main characters of the movie. There is one more, Chang Chen. He's the doctor. Okay. And then there's Babs. He is the guy that challenges Paul. And then one more is Javier. He is Stilgar. Okay? So these are the people. Stilgar is the leader of the Furman. Alright. So basically the Atreides family was sent to this, I don't know if it's a planet or a town, but it's just gonna say they sent to the desert, right? I forgot the name of the desert. Let's see if it tells me here, because I'm actually looking. Okay, they were sent to a planet. All right, so they were sent to a planet, okay, to basically oversee the people and bring peace to the people. That was his idea. That's what he thought. The people that was there before, right, who Glosov was commanding, was really pissed off that they were basically removed off the planet. And it is said that they were rich, like they made money off that planet because they were collecting something called spice, right? It made them hallucinate. It made them survive the harsh temperatures. I don't know if it said it made them immortal either, but basically they were describing the people that consumed it or inhale it inhuman, okay, which is the Fairmen. It's basically what it is, right? And so the Artilles family got sent to that planet. Now I'm gonna tell you, the movie really starts really slow, right? It not a big fan of the start of it. You know, the son, like any typical child of royalty in these movies, they're not, or a rich family, they don't really want any of that attention. They don't want to be bothered. They just want to live their life doing their own thing. That's basically Timothy's character, which is Paul. That's basically what he was, you know, humming and hawing about the beginning of the movie. You know, we're gonna fast forward. They are on the planet, and none of the equipment basically works. Right, the people that was there before basically tampered with it, and everything was all just a mess. So that happened. And so the Duke was really upset, but he still had high hopes that they could make things happen. So he's trying to get all his connections. Okay. So the creepy old lady, right, was really upset that Paul's mom, Lady Jessica, had a son. She was like, we told you to have a girl and you decided to have a son. Now, this is telling me that his mother, this character, was able to choose the sex of or gender of the child. Like, they can pick and choose what they want. But instead, she decided to have a son, and Helen, or Gosses, whatever, was like really pissed off to the point where she tested him, tortured him mentally, and told him if he tried to run, she will kill him. She had a poker right at his vein here, right? And that was Paul, who she was threatening. Okay, so Paul was having dreams of these people, of the sand, of Chani, which he didn't know her name. These weird voices was constantly talking to him. And basically he had to see that creepy old lady because his mom told the creepy old lady what was going on. And so that's basically what happened, right? So the creepy old lady went to the Baron and was like, hey, you need to spare the family. The mother is under our control, so is the son. You need not to harm them, right? And he was like, we're not going to harm them. They're perfectly fine. So this is where I got a little confused, because I'm trying to find out, well, what happened that this old lady is beseeching the Baron not to harm the family? Like, what happened, you know? Because it never said they did something wrong. Like, it started, the movie started, the dad was like, hey, we're having visitors, put your best on, blah, blah, blah. There was no, oh my God, we've angered the Baron. There was none of that. There was none of that going on, right? So, you know, he's like, we're not going to harm them. And she left. And then Glosso was really upset because his people were the ones that was removed off the island. And he was like, listen, being removed is not a punishment. He was like, let those people enjoy their exile. My planet will take care of them. So once again, why? Why were they there, right? Like I said, the Duke thought it was to make peace and basically just control everything. He thought that's why he was going there, but in actuality, they were going for their deaths, okay? Now, Duncan, Jason Momoa's character, he was like he was in the army, and he flew a dragonfly looking ship. I was taken aback by how he looked, honestly. Like, the first time I ever saw him, he was not heavy. Like, I've seen him in a couple different shows. One of them I never finished watching. I can't remember the name of it, but it had to do like in the winter, like in the winter time, and he just fit right into that movie because of just how big and stocky and brawny he is. But in this movie, his character was fat. Like, he wasn't, you can tell by his face, he's a little chunky, you know, and that threw me off because all the other movies I've seen of him, his face is really slender, and he had some, not like cheeks like mine, but he had some. You can tell he had some weight on him, so that kind of threw me off. Like, he gave me the same type of energy you see in all of his movies where he has to do combat. It was really good. I liked it. I was just taken a little aback about how much weight they had him gain for the role. If indeed it was the requirement of the show for him to bulk up like that, I was just a little taken aback. But besides that, he was loyal until he died, and he literally gave his life for the Lord and Lady, the Duke and Lady of the family that he worked for. Right? So once again, now the reason why he died is because he was invaded by Gloslav people and the Baron. Why? Nobody knows. Okay, we all know that. Well, according to the show, the only reason they got in was because of the Doctor. The Doctor lowered all the shields, paralyzed the guards, and then they were able to come and attack them. Once again, I don't know, because they're all on the same team. It's not like they're not on the same team. They're all on the same team. It's like if your boss, basically gives you your coworker's position, or your coworker's position. So let's say you're a secretary, but you got promoted to executive assistant, and your boss and the old executive assistant decided, well, basically I run the show, so now we're going to work against you and basically push you out of the company, even though I just gave you this position. Basically what just happened, it was just confusion. The only difference is pushing you out is basically getting you fired, while in Dune it's basically murdering you. That's the difference, And so so that happened, right? And then the Duke was like, well, dude, why? They have my wife. If the Baron is willing to kill people that did nothing to him, what makes you think your wife is still alive? Like, that was another thing I said to myself. Like, your wife is probably gone. Like, she is not here. She is gone. Like, she was gone from the day they took her. She was gone. You are just too in love to see that your wife is gone. And I felt bad for his character, but at the end of the day, like, he doomed the whole entire family. So of course the Baron killed him, and I felt bad for the fact that they took his wife, but at the end of the day I didn't feel bad for the fact that he was gone, because he should have known better. He should have known the rap sheet of the person he worked for. He should have known, also, let's see. The parts of the movies that really got me that was really interesting was, so the boy and the mom, when their city, let's call it the city, got attacked, they were stranded in the desert. And so they were walking like the furmen, trying to not attract any worms, but too late, they were being attracted by a worm. A worm was following them, and then when they got to like a rock area, the worm came out the ground and was like staring at him, and was like this, basically groaning, right? And I'm thinking this whole entire time, these voices in the boy's head was basically the worms talking to him, but it wasn't, because the worms didn't have actual like words. They just made sounds, right? And so that's another thing. In the movie, the boy kept having flashes and visions of different events and things like that, which was a little confusing, and to where the character himself like basically went crazy. He was in a tent with his mom, and he basically went crazy, and he blamed his mom for having these visions, and it's all her fault or whatever. More power to her, because she comforted him. I probably would have taken offense, honestly, and been really mad, and he would have had the silent treatment. Even though he knew how to save us, I probably would have given him the silent treatment for at least 3-4 hours. I could go 24 hours or more if you want, but I probably would have done that. But she took it like a champ and like a pro. She hugged him, had him, get it all out, and they were on their way. And he was really confused. He didn't know what to do. So was I, honestly, because like once they escaped the worm, basically the Furman was following them and watched them, and the mom overthrew Slygar, which is the leader of the Furman. Like, basically, she tried to kill him, and so one of his people was really upset. It was Jamis, who is the one of the people that the boy kept seeing visions of. And basically, Jamis was like, "Hey, I will train you in the ways of the desert." The problem is, because Jamis was upset that the woman bested their leader, there was like basically a challenge to the death, right? So that is what was happening. And so the boy didn't really understand that, and so he never killed anyone. Paul also never killed anyone. So once he realized he had to kill Jamis, that version of events, as far as vision goes, basically disappeared. And then the voice in his head saying, like, the Paul has to die for someone else to live and rise up. So basically what I thought was like they physically had to hurt Paul, and Paul somehow got better, but they're in the middle of the desert, so I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. So maybe it could have been the idea of not killing someone and just staying in like this whole childish realm of basically how he was living, and how he saw the world. That part of him had to die in order for him to grow and to become this warrior and leader of these people eventually, possibly, I don't know. But that is what happened. And then so he did do that. He killed Jamis, and then he basically was welcomed into the pack. But he did made it clear when he said we, if you would have us, not if you would have me, because he wanted to understand that my mom's coming too, right? Because they really think that him and his mother is some like deity or some special people. So as they were walking back to the Sand People's village, there was a guy riding a worm. So he thought that was cool, and his mom, he showed it to his mom too. His mom is still a little leery. You can tell by her facial expression that she still really don't trust these people. She actually wants off the planet, and she wants her son off the planet as well. And her son's like, no, this is where I belong. I really just think he really likes the character Chani, and he been having mixed dreams about her. They're friendly, then she tries to kill him so many times. They kissed and then she stabbed him. So he's really confused as to what role she and him are going to be playing. But I think he just want to explore that avenue and keep his mom close because he knows his mother is pregnant. Oh, sorry. Spoiler, his mom is pregnant. He actually saw that. I really think him and his mom have x-ray vision, because it didn't show that he dreamt his mom was pregnant. Well, it kind of showed flashes that his mom had a baby. And so he basically told her she was pregnant, not going to have a baby. So I believe that he has x-ray vision, because his mom also noticed when they went to the desert city, that her maid, that the one she picked, had a knife in her waist. And so yeah, that's that. I did find interesting that the knife that the maid had was a gift to the mom, but it was the blade was made from a tooth of the worms. And I thought that was pretty cool, because all the Furman has one. So I thought that was really cool. And she actually gave one to the woman. The maid gave one to the woman, for her son, or for her, whichever one of them is supposed to be their leader eventually. But that was the movie. It literally left me guessing, like, what's gonna happen next, as far as with the boy and his mom becoming part of this. I feel like I've already seen parts of the second movie, because they've given you so many glimpses and flashes based on what the boy was seeing, that wanting to know what's gonna happen next is not up here. Like, oh my god, it's like down here. Because you've basically seen the whole entire movie. It wasn't terrible, like I said, but it could be better. If I was to rate this 1 to 10, I would literally give this movie a 4. Because there wasn't really any foreground, any like introduction to what is actually happening. Like, make it make sense. Why does the Baron want the family dead? Why? It didn't show anything. Like, it didn't show that the dad was a goody two shoes. It didn't show that he was trying to overthrow anybody. The dad was this obedient duke that lived on his corner of whatever planet, that wasn't messing with anybody. All of a sudden, you want the family dead. Make that make sense to me, or to anyone that had that same question. So that's one of the reasons why it was a 4. The other reason is this boy has been having visions the whole entire show. Why? The mom wasn't having visions, right? You're saying, the creepy old lady is saying, oh, he's a boy, he can't handle these powers. What powers? Same thing with the whole talking to you through your mind. Like, where does that come from? Why isn't there like a brief summary or something at the beginning, giving a little bit of history about what's going on? Sometimes having that definitely works out in everyone's favor. Some of the glimpses. One thing I did like, though, some of the pictures that they used to advertise the movie on Netflix, it was part of the movie, so I did like that portion of it. I know sometimes there's a lot of movies and shows that will show you things that's not even part of the movie, so this one was actually pretty good, so I did like that. Yeah, so the second one comes out, I'll watch it, but I just think the boy has a crush on, like I said, Zendaya's character, so that's why he decided to stay. Other than that, he would have been perfectly fine living in his water city, hanging out by the water, I think. And what's interesting is there was nobody, there was no kids there was no one for him to, he had no friends, really. It was just weird. It was just weird type of isolating type of movie that this was. Isolating for the kid. His mom didn't have anybody. I was surprised she had ladies in wait, because the whole entire time it was just her and him. There was nobody else. It was just really weird. There's just a big focus on the family, and we don't need any extra people except the soldiers. And then, since she is his girlfriend, because the dad never married her, she should have ladies in wait. It's just weird. Which is also nothing. Like, why does a girlfriend get a ladies in wait, or maidens in wait, whatever you call them? Like, I thought that was reserved for the wife. I don't know. I don't really know anything about any of that stuff, but it was just something else that was really interesting to me, but that is my take on Dune. I can't wait for Dune 2 to come out. Whenever it comes out, whenever I get around to it, I will watch it, and I will give my honest review. Alright, guys, so thanks again for all of you that tuned in. I will see you in the next one. Toodles.